Ladies and gentlemen, this is Steve Bannon talking, not me. I am not talking. Freshly pardoned Bannon declares Trump will take back White House in 2024 by Mike Brest, January 2021. Okay, so President Biden's administration begins. We have 2022 to take back the House. Then you get impeachment as payback. Impeachment from Caligula, his son's laptop, and the endless emails that are obvious pay-to-play schemes. Thank you for allowing us to meet your father. Okay, so I can read the emails verbatim, so can you. Go to the New York Post. That's a story we couldn't talk about, but now we can, because you have the federal government investigating not just Caligula's taxes, but also 2 dozen business entities and possible laundering. That's according to Politico. Hit subscribe to this channel right now, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, take a deep breath. Everything's going to be fine. This is the United States of America. We had Trump for 4 years. We'll have Biden for 4 years. Hopefully we'll have President Trump again. But you have to, if you lose politically, you can't act like you don't have the luxury as a supporter of President Trump or a voter for Trump. You don't have the luxury of sulking and being indignant and apoplectic for 4 years. You don't have the ability to be a seething, fuming, fanatical, hysterical, raving mad, just tyrant on social media. The algorithms aren't going to let you. The system is geared towards an apoplectic liberal who has the luxury of James Comey, Brennan, Strzok, McCabe, Clapper to fabricate a Trump-Russia hoax. Which, by the way, we have a special counsel that I talked about. That special counsel cannot be terminated. We have a special counsel. Trump lives on the next 4 years through a lot of things, but also through John Durham's special counsel, which this channel, my voice, I will be talking about that. I've written about that in the Federalist. You can go to my writing. You can see my writing on the Hill, the Huffington Post Salon, the Jerusalem Post, the Roanoke Times, on hagoodman.com. You can see my debates there. If you want to support my voice, to my new Patreons, thank you so very much. But my Patreon is below in the pinned comment description, and also hagoodman.com. And also, I'm going to be working on something special, very special. The future is bright, ladies and gentlemen. I'll let you know in a couple of weeks, actually. And this is going to be amazing. But freshly pardoned Bannon declares Trump will take back White House in 2024. Former White House chief strategist Steve Bannon proclaimed former President Donald Trump's bid for the White House in 2024 has already begun. Hours after receiving an 11th hour pardon from Trump, Bannon threw down the gauntlet on his show. Quote, President Trump is going to take the White House back in 2024, and that starts today. He said Wednesday morning, today. Biden is sworn in today, and today starts President Trump's political rebound. Quote, and it starts with this show, and I don't care if mainstream media doesn't like it. I don't care if the Democratic Party doesn't like it. I don't care if the state oligarch apparatus doesn't like it. We're going to put it in your grill every day. So he goes on to talk about, and he's actually, this isn't the first time that Bannon has talked about. This isn't the first time that Bannon has talked about Trump running again. Now, you can say, oh, you said that Hillary Clinton will be nominee. Well, what's the difference? Same person. And I also said Clinton would lose in 2016. Nobody was saying that. I said that, so that was like one of the biggest political calls ever. Very few people were saying that. I think 1 or maybe 3 or 4 people were saying that on YouTube, in all of YouTube, and maybe 3 or 4 people in all of politics. I was one of those people. I said Clinton would lose in 2016. I told you to delete your Twitter account 2 years ago. I'm approaching 200,000. We'll get past 200,000 subscribers, ladies and gentlemen. I lost a couple of subs simply because, like, the mentality, like, I lost something like 1,000 plus, no, over like 1,500 subs and got them all back within 2 days because I used the word concede. I said Trump conceded 2 weeks ago, which he did. But yeah, 2 weeks ago, I said Trump conceded. People said, "How dare you? He didn't concede. Oh my God!" And then like 1,000 people. But then everyone came back, or new people came back. Okay, people, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to get to the mentality you need to have, but you need to have a positive mentality, ladies and gentlemen. My God Almighty. My last segment, it was like, the comment section was completely depressing. Oh, this is it. You don't understand. It's the end of the world. It's like it was like an REM song. It's the end of the world as we know it. It's like, look, it's the United States of America. We have a Republican. We'll have a Democrat. Well, if Biden goes 8 years, I don't think he will. If he goes 8 years, we'll have 8 years of a Republican, or I should say, hopefully, somebody close to Trump. Look, President Trump made missteps, numerous missteps that he needs to learn from now. Just really quickly. That's a Washington Examiner article from today. This is Newsweek. If President Trump loses and runs again in 2024... Okay, hold on. Donald Trump will run again for the president in 2024 if he loses. The U.S. Sun. Steve Bannon predicts Trump will run for president in 2024. Yahoo News if he loses. So... the fact that he's impeached twice is completely irrelevant. Why? This is interesting, really interesting. This is a couple days ago. Trump retains overwhelming support from Republicans. Nearly 9 in 10 Republicans approve of Trump's job performance, according to NBC News. NBC poll, January 17th, just a couple days ago. He still has 9 in 10 Republicans, okay? You have to understand, in a way, he's become even more popular. Because you have an onslaught, a daily... they're still talking. The Democrats are still obsessed with Trump. I don't have a Twitter account, okay? There's a person impersonating me. Amazon knows who this person is because he broke numerous laws, sharing books and all that. But, this person is not only impersonating me, but, going on, an unhinged tirade, which is very sad and still illegal because... it doesn't even say parody account, so Twitter knows that this person, I think that the account has been suspended numerous times. Anyway, go on Twitter. I do not have a Twitter account. I do not have a Facebook account, but you can go on Twitter, and they're still obsessed over President Trump. They're still obsessed. It's hilarious. They haven't moved on because they don't have anything. They're not going to have this... There's a power-sharing agreement between McConnell and Schumer, similar to what happened 20 years ago when Republicans and Democrats were almost evenly split in the Senate. There aren't going to be any transformative bills or legislation in Biden's first 100 days or even in Biden's 4 years. He will not. Okay, one thing you know that's certain. You will not have Medicare for all. You will not have a Green New Deal legislation. You will not have universal basic income. You might have an immigration bill, but we don't, Democrats are not, that's not front and center in terms of their priorities. Their only priority, ladies and gentlemen, for the past 4 years has been spewing this contempt, venom, these tinfoil hat fantasies that say Trump worked with Russia, finding whistleblowers within government, by the way, that just come out of the woodwork and say, oh, well, we're speaking truth to power, and it was just people that didn't like Trump that they called whistleblowers. Okay, ask yourself if these people are going to come out of the woodwork with Biden. No, that's why you have John Durham, and that's important. You can't just simply give up, okay? You shouldn't have, for the people who say, Durham's not going to do anything, you shouldn't even have had 4 years of President Trump. The system, the machine has been not created, but the system is designed to prevent President Trump from winning. Now, all he has to do, he made some missteps. He should never have gone after, He should never have insulted LeBron James. He should never have insulted NFL athletes. He can put, like, if Twitter permanently bans, Twitter has permanently banned President Trump, but if that ban continues, that's the best thing for President Trump. He finds other ways to communicate a message, perhaps in a more diplomatic manner. If President Trump learns from the mistakes he's made, and that's like the past couple of months, and learns, like, if Republicans work to, it's funny, if Republicans work to address certain laws or issues that might affect them in the next 4 years, and President Trump swoops in again, and he learns from his mistakes. If he doesn't learn from his mistakes, Biden goes 8 years. If he wants to run again, he learns from his mistakes, he can win. Obviously, he has 9 and 10 Republicans. But ladies and gentlemen, the Republican Party has to, like, if the Republican Party is the same Republican Party, there's no way Trump wins again. So, Republicans there needs to be an ideological, clash or battle within the Republican Party, which is taking place. They have to come to terms with the fact that it's finally a populist political party, or I should say a more populist conservative political party. The never Trump Republicans are never going to run the GOP. Those days are over. But you have 90% support. You have 10%, though, they get all the media coverage. What's going to happen, it's going to be interesting. We'll see what takes place with media saying, okay, now our adversaries are Mitt Romney and Ben Sasse. We'll see. There's so many things that can happen. But you have to elevate the voices of Devin Nunes, Matt Gaetz, Jim Jordan. These people, Rand Paul, Ron Johnson, these people need to have their voices elevated. And Josh Hawley and Ted Cruz, they should be supported as well by the entire Republican Party and Republican voters. I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Democrat. But I want America to continue to reverse failed foreign policy decisions. I loved President Trump's foreign policy. First president in decades not to have started a war, reversed U.S. foreign, got us out of Syria, ended the war in Afghanistan. There's so many Abraham Accords, peace between Israel, UAE, Bahrain, Morocco, Serbia, and Kosovo, economic deals. First president to step foot in North Korea. There were things that he accomplished that were lasting achievements. Now, like I said, there were missteps. If you learn from the missteps, and so, like, people were like, oh yeah, all is lost and you've been wrong. It's like, you know what? I told you that the whole Russia nonsense was absurd and a hoax and a bogus tinfoil hat fantasy in 2016. In 2016, I told you that impeachment was just retribution, and it was. I explained and I told you to get off Twitter. So those are things that you're not gonna, like, just telling you to. And I told you not to debate anybody with Trump derangement. Don't debate them. Okay, there are a lot of things that I've told you that have been spot on. Most of my analysis is spot on. If I go out on a limb, okay, so what? So what? I made one of the biggest calls of all time in 2016, but so what? I'm human. The value of this channel and my voice is that I'm going to give you, hopefully I have some wisdom, I'm going to give you some of the wisdom, like delete your Twitter account, don't listen to message boards, which is what I've been right about and ahead of the game for 2 years. Ladies and gentlemen, there's no way Trump can win if you believe that if you believe that there are 1,000 indictments sealed, that Jeff Sessions is a good person, that all will be, there's white hats and people who are defending President Trump in the shadows. It's if you believe a message board, you just wait. There was a certain point, like, look, in the past 2 months, the whole thing was just an entire cluster. The past 2 months, you should have had I said Rudy Giuliani, Jenna Ellis, other attorneys should have simply gone on Joe Rogan and Tim Pool. I said that. I said there were so many ways they should have gone on MSNBC and CNN, stated their case, created a national dialogue. But there were so many ways to address any grievances. Now we can't talk about those things. And so I stated that. But they didn't do that. They had a press conference, and then the Just for Men melted. There are things, ladies and gentlemen, that should have taken place. There are missteps. Look, President Trump can't surround himself with people like Jeff Sessions anymore. Like, he has to remember also that people are politicians. Even his allies will turn on him if it behooves them. It's just, President Trump should watch Game of Thrones or read a Shakespearean tragedy. Or in some ways, he's become a Shakespearean tragedy. What made him powerful also was his undoing, became his undoing. You know, you can't have this bulldozer sledgehammer mentality all the time. Even when people are out to get you. Even if you know the sharks are out to get you, simply throwing more chum in the water isn't going to make things better. And what President Trump did was, like I've been saying, he responded in kind, and they tried to poke and prod him, and they obsessed over him. They made him something that he isn't. And you don't have the luxury of hyperbole. Our country's over. No, it's not. It's not done. The country's done. No, it's not done. Oh, Biden will be the worst president of all time. He won't be the worst president. He could be, possibly, but I don't think he'll be the worst president of all time. I mean, obviously, I don't want his foreign policy, which is the Lincoln Project people there. And you look at he's voted alongside Bush, Cheney, and Rumsfeld. There's a lot of things that, look, I voted for Trump, not Biden. But at the end of the day, we can have Trump again or somebody close to him in terms of achievement. And his achievements speak louder than words, but unfortunately, in this day and age, a politician, unfortunately, is oftentimes judged by their words. President Trump could have just toned it down a little bit. And if he learns that in the next couple of 4 years, there's no stopping him. Or at least if he learns the lessons, like if he wants to run again. I don't know if he does. Steve Bannon says he's going to run again and take back the White House in 2024. Look, I said there were obstacles. There are obstacles to overcome. Media is now, I love this article. There's an article title here. It's so amazing. Oh, here. New York Times, how Joe Biden became a steady hand amid so much chaos. I mean, there weren't articles like this. The day of his in January of 2017, they were already investigating Trump. The Mueller probe was pretty much going to start regardless of whether or not Trump fired Comey, or some variation of it. They already had, Crossfire Hurricane going on. So it's there's a difference now. They're going to embrace Biden's rear end, and you have all of Hollywood saying, "Oh, we've won." Hollywood was never political until recently. It was here and there, but like this is like Children of the Corn, like these zombies that just live within social media, and they are Democratic partisans like you've not seen. The most these are zealots. You have zealots and fanatics who are just incapable of asking or inquiring why anyone would vote for President Trump. They were, like I said, just because there were missteps doesn't mean there weren't amazing achievements. He allocated more funding to historically black colleges and universities than any president ever. That's an important achievement. It might not be the liberals or the far left who just look at Trump as like they can't even admit that he's achieved anything. These people, their minds have been turned to mush just with the contempt for this man. But he can rebound. This is a country of rebounds. You can look at like everyone that you can, almost everyone you could think of that's achieved great things has had to rebound in some way or another. And America, from like Frank Sinatra, had to rebound. I mean, you can just, the list is endless. Below in the comments section, if you could think of a famous person in history, or you just, the list is endless. Trump can rebound. He just has to evaluate and learn from mistakes. That's all. Give me your thoughts below. Hit subscribe, ladies and gentlemen. Like I said, that's Steve Bannon talking. I didn't say that he's going to run again, but I think that if he does and he learns from certain mistakes, there's no stopping him. Give me your thoughts below. And also, like, if he addresses the issues he tried to, like, we need to create a national dialogue, or if he addresses the issues, the Republican Party did him in at the end of the day. If he addresses the issues pertaining to a weak state Republican Party here and there, or like local GOP parties, I mean, there's so many issues to address, but if he addresses those issues, sure, of course President Trump can come back. Give me your thoughts below. Hit subscribe to this channel. I want only positivity on this channel. Thank you.